Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News, May 28th, 2018, and it's Memorial Day, excuse me, here in the United States. And ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to bring to your attention what is happening in the United Kingdom, the UK. And I'm not too sure if a lot of you know who Tommy Robinson is. Tommy Robinson is, well, some call him an activist. Some call him a troublemaker. But in fact, I've been following this man for almost 2 years now. And he has been exposing the tyranny and the lies of the United Kingdom, the British government. And the majority of what he talks about is what's happening with these refugees, migrants. They are all of one specific religion. And I have to be very careful. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want my channel flagged for religious persecution. But the fact of the matter is, folks, what's happening in the United Kingdom is bound to happen in the United States, as it is happening in other countries. Now, Tommy Robinson is a journalist and an author. He's written a couple of books. I have been following him, like I said, for 2 years now. A couple of days ago, he was reporting and uncovering information related to these migrant immigrants raping women, raping children, murdering people, committing heinous crimes within his country. Many years ago, he was in charge of and founded the English. I have to get the actual name of the organization. I believe it was the English Defense League, the EDL. He founded this organization and put together a crew of people, and he went at it. Today, Tommy Robinson is in prison in the UK. 2 days ago, as he was reporting on the trials of 29 individuals of this specific religious organization, who I will not mention, they were responsible for heinous crimes, once again, related to rape of children, rape of women, vicious assaults, and many, many other brutal crimes. These brutal crimes are being committed by these implants, as I call them. Implants from the Middle East and this specific religious organization. This has been going on throughout many European countries, ladies and gentlemen. Not just the UK, but in Germany, in Italy, in France, in Spain, in Sweden and Norway. Many, many countries. Over the course of the last 2 years, the country of Sweden has done a pretty good job of keeping things quiet But that didn't last very long. The same thing is happening in Germany. Yesterday in Berlin, a massive, and I mean massive, protest. Tens of thousands of people hitting the streets once again in Berlin, in Germany, to protest what their government is doing and what they're overlooking. Tommy Robinson was arrested a couple of days ago out in front of the Leeds courthouse in London. And he was reporting on what was happening with these court cases. Within a few minutes, several police officers came outside and they arrested him. They told him that he was being arrested for basically their version of disturbing the peace, disorderly conduct, but he wasn't doing anything of the kind. This was their way of placing him in jail and shutting him up, because he was exposing the United Kingdom government and their cover-up that is dealing with all of these vicious, vicious crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, the same thing is happening here in the United States and many, many other countries. They just don't want you to know about it. News agencies don't report it. And it just so happens that the legal system in the UK has put a ban on reporting on this topic. And since they have arrested and tried and convicted Tommy Robinson in the course of a few hours, sentencing him to 13 months in prison, a prison that is full of these religious radicals. Now, he was already imprisoned for 90 days in the recent past, at which time he was brutally assaulted. And they knew it would happen. This man has been assaulted. His camera crew has been assaulted on many occasions. And I'm going to show you some video information, and I'm going to show you what is currently happening. And I got to say, folks, this is a very scary situation that is occurring. I don't know if any of you have been watching what has been happening, but it is happening. Early yesterday, there was a funding program set up for his defense, and I felt compelled to make a hefty donation. Actually, myself and Dr. Elbers put together quite a bit of money, and we donated that to Tommy Robinson's legal defense there in the UK, even though they arrested him, they tried him, and they convicted him all on the same day and immediately sent him to Hull prison in the UK. I'm going to continue to support Tommy like I have over the past 2 years. I think it's now time for the people here in the United States, as well as many other countries, to take a stand against this type of tyranny and censorship. No laws were broken, but they literally have given this man pretty close to a death sentence. He is targeted by these religious radicals and being placed in a prison with such people who know who he is. They will stop at nothing to murder this man. I hope it doesn't happen. You know, I watch everything that Tommy puts out. Like I said, I've been following him now for 2 years. And he's a pretty tough guy. And the people of the UK, they don't deserve what is happening to them. The people of France, Germany, Spain, the Scandinavian countries, the United States, Canada, all of these countries that are, well, how should I say this? They're basically being set up, each and every one of us, set up to take these religious refugees, political refugees, whatever you want to call them. No way to vet these people. Just flooding into the countries. They're given all of the resources of a citizen of one of these countries. No excuses. Nothing. And the crimes that are being committed are absolutely horrendous. Things that are occurring in the UK and Germany and these other countries, ladies and gentlemen, they would create the worst nightmares in your dreams. And it's a very sad day in the world when a man, a journalist, an author, an activist, is imprisoned because he is reporting on pedophilia, rape, murder, vicious assaults, and spreading the word. And gaining steam, gaining notoriety. Well, the fastest way to shut somebody up is to put them in prison. Lock them up, throw away the key, put them in there with their worst enemies, and maybe those enemies will silence him forever. And ladies and gentlemen, if that happens, that is going to be a very, very, very sad day on this planet. I want to go ahead and I want to show you some information that I've put together. I want you to listen to it very carefully. I want you to get to know the man, Tommy Robinson. You know, ladies and gentlemen, there's not too many people out there in the world right now that I really admire. But I do admire this man. He's got balls of steel. And he goes up against these thugs. The video that I'm going to show you right now just happened not too long ago. And Tommy and his film crew were simply in a McDonald's parking lot, grabbing a bite to eat. And around the corner from this McDonald's and down the street was a mosque. And they had been reporting on some activities that had been going on in this mosque. And lo and behold, as they were stepping outside of the McDonald's, these Antifa mosque members, well, they approached his female camera woman and himself, and there were, I believe, about 7 or 10 of them against 2 or 3. And I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you, and I want you to watch it very, very carefully. It's 4 minutes and 15 seconds, and I want you to absorb what is happening. Now, after this attack, which left Tommy bloodied and battered somewhat, the police did absolutely nothing. Their excuses for not doing anything were horrible. Horrible. But let's take a watch.
You're not going to do it one-on-one, lads. You're not going to do it one-on-one. You're not going to do it one-on-one. I was in London today to report on a left-wing organisation who were having a conference. I was standing at McDonald's, just down the road from where it was, and I turned around and saw multiple men, 6 or 7 men coming towards me with masked faces. Instantly, 4 of them went for me, and then they attacked my camera woman and my cameraman. Some have run straight to attack me, and they've gone and attacked my camera woman and my cameraman. This is in broad daylight, in a massive car park with loads of people around. They're wearing masks, and they're violently attacking us. One-on-one, innit? You're not going to do it one-on-one, lads. You're not going to do it one-on-one. You're not going to do it one-on-one. What are you doing one-on-one? What? What are you doing? What are you doing? Wait, get off that!
You think that's cool? Come on, this one.
Right? You good, yeah? Hey, you fucked them up anyway. Fuck them up. You hold it up though, can't let. Hold it up. Yeah, man, where'd they go? Not even there. Not even there. I don't know, but only one guy didn't play. Not even still there? No. I don't know. But we need to get some far. Bitch. Stop my fucking camera. You alright there, Tommy? I'm alright, mate, yeah. Too many of them there. Pricks. Did they do anything? And then the police come. And then when the police come, they've already said straight away that they're not taking any further because we don't know who they are. Because we don't know who they are. The police have made no attempt to find out who they are. I was still standing there. Your mates run off. Your mates run off. I've got it on camera. So it was nothing. You just run off. It's not nothing to worry about. No allegations. There's no allegation from me, like. It's not. I'll deal with it. You cowards. Give me one example, bro. Don't walk away. All about you. So what are you talking about? How can you say I promote hate speech if you don't know anything about me? What you're doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Nice little chat over there. A nice little chat. I've just been attacked by 10 of you. I'm trying to talk to you. All right, yeah. Give me one example. If you didn't turn up today, you wouldn't have one example. Give me one example. Whatever. You can't. Can you give me one example of my hate speech? You absolutely embarrassing, pathetic people. Can you give me one example?
Of what?
Of my hate speech.
No, I can't be asked.
You can't give one either.
You're wasting time, Tommy.
Just a complete group of people who have no argument at all, but they want to silence and attack and violently attack anyone else who has a different opinion.
Did you not call for an uprising against Muslims?
Can you?
After the last time
Okay.
did you not call for an uprising?
Give me my words. Quote me.
You called for an uprising?
No, I didn't. Quote me. Give me the quote. Tell me exactly what I said that called for an uprising.
You incited what you could call a programme against Muslim people.
I incite. Like what? Give me an example. Give me an example.
I'm not coming here to memorise what you
We have gangs of young men wearing balaclavas, acting violently, roaming up and down our country, deciding who's allowed to speak and who's not. And nothing's being done about this organisation. If this was a right-wing organisation, they'd be prescribed. They'd be prescribed as a terrorist organisation like National Action have been. I'm used to coming under violent attack, okay? But these groups claim to defend women and women's rights. But what you've just witnessed is them attacking a female, throwing her on the floor and violently attacking her. They have been exposed and showed themselves exactly for what they are. I want to say a personal thank you to every single person who supported me. I wouldn't be able to travel the country or travel Europe and bring you these news stories. I wouldn't be able to bring you the truth. The mainstream media ignore if it wasn't for the people who support me. So a personal thank you from me to you. Anyone who wants to support us, anyone who wants to help us, you can go to tommyrobinson.online. Thank you.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that the police department, or the police departments in the UK, they don't want to do anything about this because they are instructed to do so. Now, I can see it in the faces of some of those police officers as they were approached by Tommy and they looked down at the ground, kind of in disgust because they know damn well what they were doing was wrong. They were not defending a man who was just brutally assaulted and attacked for no reason. They attacked and beat his female camerawoman, and she held her own. And listen, let me put that out there. Tommy Robinson is a tough guy. I've seen every one of his videos, every one of his live streams. He was kicked off of Twitter and banned from Twitter. They did the same thing to him on this platform where we're viewing this live stream right now. They also censored him heavily on Facebook. But they found some ways around it. And his followers and his numbers are growing. And just like myself and Dr. Elbers here at Planet X News, our numbers are rising. However, the censorship is brutal. We're just on the verge of touching 71,000 subscribers, of which less than 10% are able to actually see our videos and attend our live streams. This is all due to the big corporate power that these monopolies on social media have. But something that touched my heart over the course of the last 2 days is the willpower of the British people to stand up for what is right and supporting this man. I mean, they even stormed the police station on Downing Street. I think it's 10 Downing Street. And we're going to watch some of this video because it's amazing and it is flooding social media to the point where Donald Trump Jr. tweeted about it, and we'll get to that in a moment. Now, not all of the people in the UK support Tommy and his efforts to expose what is happening within their government and happening to their people. You know damn well the rich and famous, they look the other way. They want this man stopped because he is creating a disruption in their new world order plan. And hopefully, it's not going to work. Now, I want to play you another video. And Tommy Robinson went to Italy, and he was once again trying to expose and uncover what is happening in different regions of Italy. And it's absolutely horrible that the police, once again, look the other way. Women are being attacked, raped, and beaten. Children are being raped, kidnapped, placed into child slavery. Do these people ever think about the families? If your child comes up missing and you never see that child again, you sit 24 hours a day and you wonder where your child is and what is happening to him or her. It is a very vicious cycle that is going round and round in the European countries. And it is also here in the United States. But news media fails to report on it. They fail miserably. The mainstream media is failing us by not reporting on what is happening. I'm going to set this situation up here in Italy, and a lot of you will like the ending to this video. And once again, this is Tommy Robinson and his film crew, once again, reporting on what is happening in another European country. Let's watch.
No, not get it.
This one.
Whilst I was in Rome to cover the Italian election, I come across a video online of a reporter being attacked by migrants live on air, not far from where I was staying.
Cosa succede in una stazione centrale in Italia di notte? Francesca.
Molti di loro provengono dall'Africa centrale, alcuni dalla zona del Maghreb, ma ti devo dire, Nicola, anche parlando un po' con loro, quasi tutti sono stanziali qui alla stazione Termini. Domani mattina riporranno le loro coperte, riporranno i loro cartoni e torneranno nuovamente qui a dormire, ancora una volta. Perché la loro speranza è quella di raggiungere soprattutto Milano e altre città del nord e poi spostarsi nel nord Europa. Non li vorremmo disturbare oltre, perché però è importante sapere che questa è l'accoglienza che non gli... Siamo stati aggrediti.
Che succede, Francesca? Francesca?
Ci hanno aggrediti, Nicola.
Beh, ma tu vattene via, non te ne
Nicola,
preoccupare.
Non so se mi senti, ci hanno aggrediti.
Francesca?
Ma cosa vuoi? Ma cosa vuoi?
The sheer blatancy of this attack shocked me. I decided to start digging deeper into Italy's spate of high-profile migrant attacks and found that this was far from the worst. Just in December, a Somali migrant dressed as a nurse, he snuck into a hospital and he attempted to rape a woman who was giving labour. The same year, a Polish tourist was gang raped on a beach in Verona while her partner was beaten and forced to watch. Think about that. It's horror stories. In 2018, an 18-year-old woman was killed by a Nigerian migrant and her dismembered body stuffed into suitcases. That just happened months ago. Even just this year again, just minutes from where the journalist was attacked, a 75-year-old German woman was raped in a park. So I went to go see for myself. I went to the areas I was warned not to go to as a journalist. I wanted to find out what was going on there. We'd only been in the area for a mere minutes when the migrants hanging around began to notice the camera. One of them even going for my cameraman. Clearly they didn't want anyone filming.
No, not get it.
I'll put you asleep. Get the fuck away from the camera. Get the fuck away from the camera. You tried to touch our camera. Yes, don't fucking try and touch the camera then. I told you that 5 times.
Keep your life.
I will keep my life. You're not going to take my fucking life. Well, you think you're going to take my fucking life? Take my fucking life.
And you cannot. You cannot. You see that? And you cannot. You look.
You take it.
Okay.
One way this is going to go, you're going to end up knocked down unconscious.
I can bring the class. I can
Yeah, boy, you just got knocked the hell out. See, that's what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this man is tough. He takes a lot of abuse. You know, I actually want to see that again.
Well, you think you're going to take my fucking life? Take my fucking life.
And you cannot. You cannot. You see that? And you cannot. You look.
You take it.
Okay.
One way this is going to go, you're going to end up knocked down unconscious.
I can bring the class.
I was shocked that in the exact same spot, a female journalist was dragged down the street, live on air. A group of migrants would attempt to attack my cameraman, threatening to kill me. The video of the journalist being dragged down the street is nearly 2 years old, but clearly it's not a one-off, and things in Italy obviously haven't improved. These kind of crimes taking place across Europe are beginning to resemble those that are more commonplace in places like the Middle East and South Africa. Given the kind of violence involved, the readiness in which these migrants will attack, it really isn't surprising that Italy has just voted to remove the politicians who brought this upon their own country. I just want to say a personal thank you to every single person who supported me. I couldn't bring you these videos without your support. We have no big funders, no big donators, so this is literally by you, for you. So I want to say a personal thank you, and if anyone else who wants to keep up to date with what we're doing, we've got plenty of exciting things coming up now. I've gone independent. You can do so at tommyrobinson.online. Thank you.
You know, again, ladies and gentlemen, there you see a man taking on the world.
That's free. We can do it. We will free Tommy. They will.
They've been holding, rallies and trying to get the word out. But there are factions that just keep trying to stop them. And it's quite horrible. I'm almost at a loss for words as I view some of the things that have been going on in different countries. For instance, in South Africa, where Dr. Elbers lived, they are slaughtering, murdering, and killing farmers, but only white farmers. This has been going on for some time now. The government of South Africa is pretty much turning a blind eye to what is happening. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned to you 2 years ago, in 2016 and in 2017, and again this year, that this civil unrest has been created by the deep states of all of these countries. This is one of the main ways that they will try to break you down. It is also one of the main ways that they will force upon you such things as martial law, or you living in a police state where your local police departments are militarized and they look like the military. Your rights as a human being are falling to the wayside. Your freedom of speech is no longer. Your freedom to move about at your own free will is gradually disappearing in this country and many others. I had the opportunity yesterday to speak with a friend of mine, a very long-time friend of mine, who I met in Miami, and we became very, very good friends. She returned to her native England 15 years ago, and I spoke with her yesterday, and she fears for her life. She fears for her teenage son's life. They live about 40 miles north of London, and she absolutely refuses to go into the city. This is all playing out in front of your eyes. You just have to know where to look. I'm very surprised that this live stream is still going. But I will be, kind of careful with what I say as far as pointing out any specific religious organization. If you simply go to YouTube and you can type in Tommy Robinson and start watching, start following, because this is not only going on in England and Italy, but it is also going on in Germany, France, Spain. Video after video after video of this man putting himself out there to defend all of our rights, whether we are American citizens, citizens of the UK, Italy, Germany. This has now become a worldwide epidemic. Not only are we fearing the weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, severe climate change, and what lurks within our solar system, we are now fearing our rights being dumped in the toilet. Here in the United States, there's a big push for the banning of guns, assault rifles. However, we maintain the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, our right to bear arms. Your right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, but along with the freedom of religion, ladies and gentlemen, your freedom of religion does not give you the right to rape, assault, and murder innocent men, women, and children. It will not be tolerated in any country. But ladies and gentlemen, the deep state governments are tolerating it. They are turning a blind eye, and they are defending the criminals that are perpetrating these crimes. And it's absolutely awful. There's a park. There's a public park in London where you can go and speak freely. However, one of the rules is you're not allowed to have this freedom of religion. You're not allowed to preach about religion in this park. Now, this one religious organization, out of defiance, they go to this park, they lay down their rugs, and they pray out loud, disturbing everyone. The police are there, and the police do nothing, even though the laws are being broken. Just recently, a British citizen went to the park, complained to a British police officer about what was happening, reminded him of the law that was being broken, and they arrested her. And they placed her in jail. Now, that doesn't make sense, does it? I believe the name of the park is Speaker's Corner. A lot of people have been gathering there day by day in support of Tommy Robinson. Many people are starting to speak out. Ex-police officers that were employed by different British law enforcement agencies that are retired, they're now coming out and speaking their piece. A lot of times in these skirmishes, you can clearly see that the British police officers don't really want to do what they're instructed to do, but they do it anyways. I want to go over to a lady who I bumped into on Facebook, and she is a big supporter of Tommy Robinson. And she's been relaying a lot of the information on her Facebook page pertaining to what is happening. There is a report that I want you guys to listen to now. And this is coming from Ezra Levant. And it's very, very important. Again, I want all of you to listen to it very clearly. And please, everything that you're seeing here today, folks, whether it's not happening in your city or state or country today, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen tomorrow. Let's take a listen.
Tommy Robinson was arrested today in Leeds in the UK outside the courthouse. A few hours later, he was sentenced to 13 months in prison. I've never heard of that before. Normally there's an alleged offense, then an arrest, then the charges, then lawyers get involved, then a first court appearance, and maybe bail, and then disclosure of documents, and then a trial, and then a conviction, and then a sentence, and then an appeal. Normally that takes months, maybe years, but this happened today in just a few hours. From Tommy standing on the street laughing, talking, to be sent to prison for 13 months. That happened in the United Kingdom today. And while Tommy Robinson is the man who was condemned, I think the UK courts, well, they committed murder of their own reputation for liberty and law. Let me show you the moment it happened. Here is the arrest, filmed by Tommy's own cameraman.
The content of one streaming, I'm being arrested for breach.
Are you arresting him?
Being arrested for breach of the peace. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. You've all watched this. Can you get me a solicitor? Can you get me a solicitor?
You know, folks, I'm going to stop the video right here. This happened about 48 hours ago. Tommy Robinson was outside of the Leeds courthouse, and he was reporting on these trials. These trials involved, I believe, 29 other individuals, and these trials have been going on, and these trials are related to very serious aggravated assaults, rape, child abuse, kidnapping, murder. I mean, you name it. The people that are involved in these high-level crimes are all from this one particular religious organization. Now, some of these people are jailed. From what I'm understanding, they're jailed for very short periods of time. Others are given suspended sentences, meaning they're not sentenced to jail. They're put on, a very laxed probationary period. It doesn't seem like anything's enforced because these individuals are committing the same crimes while they're out on probation, but nothing is ever done. So Tommy has been exposing all of this for quite some time, and he's gaining momentum within his country, the UK. People are standing behind him. Not just a few hundred or a few thousand, hundreds of thousands of people are supporting this man and his endeavor into exposing the truth behind the lies. Now, a while back, Tommy was arrested. He was given a suspended sentence after serving a short period of time in jail. He was assaulted, brutally beat up by these radicals. And after he was let out of jail, he was kind of on this suspended sentence probationary period himself. But all of a sudden now, the UK government is putting this ban on reporting on these very serious cases of murder, rape, and assault. Why would they do that? Why would they stop the media from reporting on such heinous crimes? So Tommy was there at the courthouse. He's a journalist. He was filming on a public street about what was happening with these trials. He actually confronted several of the defendants as they were freely walking into the courthouse, and they pushed and shoved him, and, a little simple assault occurred. He did nothing. He walked away and continued to report. Moments later, police officers surround him. They arrest him for disturbing the peace, as they said. And then they hauled him away, and once they got him into the courthouse, one judge, no jury, they changed everything up on him. They held him in contempt of court for violating and breaching this ban on reporting. And within minutes, the judge sentenced him to 13 months in prison. This all happened in a matter of hours, not days or months or years like court cases get drawn out. He was sentenced to 13 months in prison. Just like that. Whatever happened to freedom of speech, freedom of expression? What happened to the freedom of the press? It all just got flushed down the toilet 48 hours ago when they arrested this man for doing nothing wrong other than exposing the truth behind the lies of the deep state, no matter what country you're in. It's heinous. But let's continue to watch this rebel report.
Turn off your live feed.
Can you get me a solicitor?
Turn off your live feed, please.
Yeah?
Do you understand what this is?
No, can you explain it again?
Suspicion causing a breach of the peace.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, officer? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm told that the police
Not at all, I never said that.
George, that's the information I've got.
I'm inciting people. I'm inciting people.
His video
How have I incited
He
people?
hasn't.
This is free speech. This is where we're at. You're not even allowed to. Look at this.
Look how many people.
Man, what are you trying to hide? Do you know when you do this? More people.
The only sharp things are lighters.
Just let them do this. More people are going to watch this now than ever. This is ridiculous, lads. Do you feel right what you're doing here? I haven't said a word. In fact, someone laid their hand and assaulted me outside court.
Yeah, exactly.
Other people swore at me and threatened me about my mother, and here I am being arrested for saying nothing.
I'm threatened to behead
I've done
me.
nothing.
You haven't said anything about
What are
it.
they arresting you for, Tommy?
Breach of the peace. Apparently, I'm inciting on my video. Can you please, George, get me a solicitor?
Yeah,
Because I'm on a suspended sentence, you see. So
He has actually done nothing wrong.
can sort anything like that. Next station.
See, right there, he mentioned about this suspended sentence for breaching the peace. Here in the United States, disturbing the peace, you're looking at a misdemeanor. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. They railroaded this man. They put him into a very dangerous situation by putting him in prison. They supposedly put him in a general population with all of these radical religious, I don't even know what the hell to call them, organizations, because that's kind of what they are. They're very, very well organized. They've infiltrated all of these countries because they were allowed to, instructed to. This is a grand plan, folks. No country in their right mind would allow this to happen to their own people if there was not another agenda, a very sick-minded agenda, where you allow the women and children of your own country to be beaten, assaulted, raped, and murdered. The people running these organizations, very sick-minded individuals, very radical in their beliefs. Now the people that are running these governments of these countries, they too have become sick-minded and radical in what they are doing. It is a very, very sad day. And my heart goes out to Tommy Robinson. I fear for his life. 13 months in this prison for exposing the truth. Let's listen to more of the Rebel Report. This website is fantastic in their reporting. I watch it frequently. And it's very scary, ladies and gentlemen, that this is happening. But let's listen further.
Causing a disturbance? But he was standing by himself on the public street. He had a cameraman with him and another supporter, but it wasn't a public disturbance. It wasn't public at all, really. There was no crowd, either on his side or against him. There was no disturbance. In fact, Tommy had been just talking into his cell phone. You can see an image of it behind me. He was doing a Facebook video live stream, and he had been doing it for literally 1 hour. Just standing and talking into the camera, a running commentary for 1 hour. A few times during that hour, people walked up to him on the street to have a very brief conversation, and Tommy did talk with them, and they were all polite, even when someone disagreed with him. No swearing, no shouting. Tommy kept the camera running for a full hour until that arrest. I think I counted 7 cops there. Public disturbance? He was practically alone by himself for an hour. Here's a sample of that 1 hour live stream. It was an interesting conversation. It was political. He had a strong point of view, but it was not a disturbance. There was no exhortation to take any action. He was doing journalism. He was standing outside a courthouse where a Muslim rape gang was on trial. Here's just a sample of 1 hour of Tommy just talking.
I'm outside Leeds Crown Court, where today 10 men are facing verdicts. They're verdicts for alleged grooming and rape scandal. People need to know what's going on. People need to know these court cases are happening. Obviously, the problem is you have people like that who think I'm a wanker for reporting on it. It's not, what's it got to do with you? What's it got to do with you? What's it got to do with me? I'm an English man and they're English girls. They're women, they're young girls. Residents now feel they can no longer rely on police in these issues, and they're patrolling and highlighting and trying to combat this epidemic.
The streets were empty. You could see it was rainy out. Tommy was literally looking into the camera and just talking for an hour, holding his own phone. He was pacing and slowly wandering around a bit, and you can see that there was no one there. Public disturbance, it was impossible. There was no public to disturb, and he wasn't disturbing. Now, literally an hour before his arrest, Tommy had asked a few tough questions of two Muslim men who were on trial and were in court that day, today, to hear the verdict on their trial for raping white girls and forcing them into prostitution. Tommy accosted the men and asked them if they were feeling guilty and what they had to say about the young girls as young as 11 years old who were raped. The entire interaction was very brief. It was aggressive, sure, but the men went away quickly. They were just walking into court. There was no rule against hollering at an accused rapist. Tommy was very careful throughout his whole broadcast to always call them accused or alleged criminals. I listened closely. He was very careful. And it's a judge-only trial, by the way. There's no jury. And today's the sentencing day. It's not like Tommy's interaction with these accused criminals that was very brief would alter the course of the trial or tamper with a jury. There was no jury here. Just for full disclosure, I want to show you the entire footage of Tommy hollering at a couple of criminal accused.
Oh, lads, how you feeling? How you feeling about your verdict? How you feeling about your verdict? How you feeling about your verdict? What verdict? How you feeling about the verdict? You got your prison bag with you? Yeah, look at you. Got your bags for you? You got your bags for you? Yeah. How you feeling about the verdict?
I suck your mum's funny.
You got no guilt. Is there any guilt? Is there any guilt, mate? Is there any guilt?
Now, was that a disturbance? I suppose in the dictionary definition of the word, it was a disturbance. It was a bit of an interruption, a bit of noise, but it lasted just, what was that? Less than 30 seconds. And it was neither violent nor threatening, other than that one man who threatened Tommy's mum. You'll notice Tommy didn't even go up the steps on the courthouse. He was very careful not to be on court property. Was Tommy accusatory or insulting? Sure. But it's a free country. Sort of.
You know, folks, just a few notes. These court cases that are going about in the UK, a lot of them involve the rape of children and the brutal assault of children. And they mentioned an 11-year-old girl. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to simply put yourself into the shoes of a parent that would have to accept the fact that their 11-year-old daughter was brutally raped, gang raped, and assaulted by these people in these radical religious groups that have infiltrated the entire country of the UK and many other countries. I cannot publicly say during this live stream what I would do if someone did that to either one of my children, and I do have a daughter. All I could say is I would spend the rest of my life behind bars if someone did that to one of my loved ones. There would be nothing on the face of this planet that would hold me back. It is truly disgusting what the government, the British government, is doing. But ladies and gentlemen, this isn't just happening in England. This is happening in many other countries. Soon to be right here in the United States, in due time. It's already happening. Just nobody's talking about it. Gag orders. News agencies not reporting it. They would rather sit there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and talk about President Donald Trump and the Russian collusion. Now, we've been listening to this now for a year. It is absolutely ridiculous. Some of you may not like President Trump. Some of you may support him. I'm a firm supporter of President Trump. He's doing what he can, but ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, these politicians are kind of like puppets. They are controlled by their own deep state. And this is the day and time that we are currently living in. If it were not for people like Tommy Robinson, we would probably not even know about these heinous crimes. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand that all of this that is happening worldwide is not happening just by accident. It is a well-planned, orchestrated attack on the people of these countries. They are placing these children into prostitution and slavery. So could you only imagine for a brief moment, take a look at your son or your daughter as a child. And could you only imagine if that happened to you and one of your children? The anger and the fear that would literally take over your life in an instant. What is wrong with one man, Tommy Robinson, exposing this? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really care about what religious organization is behind all of this because, that just doesn't matter. I don't care if you're white, black, brown, yellow, or red. To commit these heinous crimes against children, it's just unacceptable. The rape and the murder and the assault, I'm sorry. But this just cannot go on anymore. It just cannot go on anymore. But the governments of these countries, they are allowing it. They are turning a blind eye to it. And they have an agenda. We know that. Here is Tommy Robinson's Facebook page. It is back up. I believe there were some issues with Facebook and, his live streaming. And then they put some things back together and got him back online. And he has other people right now that are running the Facebook page. And I got to say, once again, folks, my hat's off to Tommy Robinson. I fully support everything that he is doing. I truly fear for his life in the situation that they have placed him in. But the people, the British people, are coming out and they are speaking and they are defending him and they are defending themselves. I want you to see some of what happened hours later and the following day, yesterday. What happened when the British people decided to take a stand and support Tommy Robinson and support themselves against this type of tyranny. We're going to watch a few of these videos, and this is outside of the Prime Minister's front door. I won't even mention her name. I think she's a lunatic. I think she needs to be jailed. But let's take a watch. Thousands of people. Thousands of people. You know, ladies and gentlemen, tens of thousands of people stood out front of the Prime Minister's residence and they protested. No violence, no crimes, nobody arrested, but they want their man freed. Falsely accused, falsely arrested, falsely convicted. You know, a lot of people here in the United States, you know, they may think that the British people are, you know, stuffy and they don't have any fight in them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me be the first to attest to that the British people are tough as nails. The majority of them. Over the years in my career, I had the opportunity to visit London many times. I had a lot of English friends that I did business with over in the UK, that I met in Miami. I met a lot of people from the United Kingdom that were on vacation. And I enjoy them. They're great people. We need to stand behind them as Americans, or whether you're Canadian, French, Spanish, Belgium, wherever you're from, Italian, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, wherever you're from. Supporting each other is the power that they absolutely do not want. Absolutely do not want anyone banding together. It's pretty scary, folks. I want to pan down and I want you guys to take a look what was happening out in front of the British Embassy in Australia. And ladies and gentlemen, I haven't mentioned Australia yet, but I will now. The same thing has been happening in Australia, down under. I've got many people from Australia that follow Planet X News and Dr. Elvers. And a few of these folks I keep in touch with. They've been telling me and showing me what's been happening in their country with the same situation, and their whole entire government has turned over and laid down to the deep state. It's happening everywhere, folks. But you don't see this happening in China. I haven't heard of anything like this happening in Japan. Their governments won't put up with it. So why do the others? Why does the European governments of this world, why are they putting up with this? Why have they gotten involved in it? They started this plan years ago. They were shuttling these immigrants in by the plane loads. They were doing it here in the United States. There were some people that were uncovering the transportation of these individuals into the United States using UPS cargo planes, landing in New Jersey in the cover of darkness, and then transporting these people in buses to locations in different states, giving them everything they needed: housing, medical, even money. So just think about it. If you're unemployed and your unemployment checks have run out, you don't have health insurance, and you're barely keeping a roof over your head in your own country, but your own government decides that you're not worthy of these benefits or this help any longer, but yet they will bring tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other individuals from other countries that have not been vetted through proper immigration channels. We know nothing about these people. And then they just allow them to flood neighborhoods, towns, and cities. They immediately create an organization. The organizations hide the crimes. Those crimes are being committed against women and children, and they are heinous. What are we going to do about it? You know, ladies and gentlemen, there's not too much that we can do physically without harming ourselves or getting ourselves arrested and placed into the same situation that Tommy Robinson is in. However, there are ways to show your support. Share the information. Share it on social media. Don't be ashamed of it. I know that there are followers, subscribers, listeners. And when I say share our information, you just don't share it. Maybe you want to listen, but you kind of don't want to get involved. Maybe you don't want your friends and your family members knowing that you're delving into protecting freedoms. Maybe you don't want your Facebook friends to think that you're some type of nutcase. Until this situation comes knocking on your door, or it's your wife or your child or you yourself that is brutally assaulted, raped, murdered, robbed, beaten, then you'll probably change your tune. So the time is now. The time is now to get up off of your asses and help support this man in any way that you can. The best way we can support this man, ladies and gentlemen, is publicizing what has been done. If you don't want to get involved, I truly understand and I respect that. But me, myself, and I refuse to keep my mouth shut. I refuse to sit on my hands and do nothing. You know, just recently, Tommy stuck up for a young lady who was actually imprisoned for a short time in the UK right after she got off of an airplane. Her and her colleague, you know, just independent journalists, and they were held in jail for 3 days and then deported. I think she was either from the U.S. or Canada, and I actually follow her on Facebook and on YouTube. So she is banned from the UK, but she never got to enter the UK other than the airport and a jail cell. And then they deported her. But she did nothing. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. But this is what was going on. Let's take a view of this. I believe this is what was happening. This is happening in Australia at the British Embassy. Let's take a listen.
Tommy Robinson! Tommy Robinson! He was arrested in front of 11,000 people who were watching at the time with me. 2.5 million people watched that video in the next hour of that. What does that tell you? Now the entire world has seen it, except probably the northern province of Iraq. But everybody else in the world, they tried to put a gag order in. They tried to shut us down. They tried to make it so nobody can care for Tommy. But now the whole world is woke. And share the videos, share the support, let everyone know. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to keep fighting for Tommy. We're not going to stop because Tommy, we are Tommy. Tommy is us. Tommy fights for us. We fight for Tommy.
You know, folks, that was Australia. That was Australia yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this. And we're going to jump back into Tommy's Facebook page here. And, you know, that was good. That was good to see the people of Australia stepping up to the plate. Once again, folks, you know, a lot of tough people in Australia, a lot of tough people in Germany and Italy and Spain and France, all of these countries. Sweden and Norway, here in the U.S. and in Canada. This man is fighting for all of our freedoms, single-handedly. What's being done to the people in Australia is a travesty. You think that it's very hard to stand up and fight, but it's not. We have other means other than physical violence. But eventually, ladies and gentlemen, the deep state will push you into that category because you're not going to be able to defend yourself with your mouth by speaking, because that freedom, as you see in the picture, is quickly going away. These occurrences are happening everywhere around the world. The fact of the matter is, what are we going to do about it? I wanted to touch on Donald Trump Jr. This is a quick story here. Donald Trump Jr., Tommy Robinson's imprisonment is reason. 1776 for the original Brexit. And Donald Trump Jr. tweeted, "Don't let America follow in these footsteps." Don't let America follow in these footsteps. Well, you know, I appreciate Trump Jr.'s statement. However, ladies and gentlemen, we are already following in these footsteps in different ways. And it's kind of hard because mainstream media, you know, they shy away from these stories. They don't want to report on it. They're too busy up Donald Trump's ass on this Russian collusion crap. We have politicians within the United States government that should be imprisoned for treason, murder, pedophilia, human trafficking, arms deals. I'm not even going to mention that woman's name, but you all know who I'm talking about. And the former ex-president of the United States of America. Crimes being committed with your tax dollars that you worked almost all of your life to pay the government to commit crimes. But if me or you were to commit any of these crimes, you would not see the light of day for the rest of your life. And you know that's a fact. More tweets. Here is more from the Columbia Bugle.
Tommy Robinson. Oh, Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson.
You know, folks, it's happening. It's happening right in front of our eyes. And, you know, all of you need to bring yourself up to speed on what is happening. It is a travesty of justice. Tyranny. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll put a link right in the description box for Tommy's Facebook page. Get in there, join up, start following him. Also his YouTube channel. I believe he has a YouTube channel. Let's I don't know if they've banned that one. I believe this is it here. Yeah, because I don't know if they deleted his YouTube channel and then later on reinstated it. The young lady that I was talking about that was jailed upon entering the UK, her and another journalist colleague, friend of hers, her name is Lauren Southern. You can see a video of her right here. I mean, she didn't even get a chance to get into the country. They accosted her and her journalist friend. They were placed in a jail, I think, for 72 hours, and then they were kicked out of the country. They knew that they were coming to join in with Tommy Robinson. Tommy was going to be interviewing Lauren. They were going to be interviewing each other and talking and live streaming and bringing more exposure to what was happening in these countries. They didn't give her a chance. She has a fantastic YouTube channel, and she did speak about what happened to Tommy Robinson the other day, and you can see that she was quite upset. But I'm going to go ahead and put this link real quick into our live chat. So you guys can follow his YouTube channel, and make sure you get over here and you click that little black bell. Make sure that it is set for your notifications so you can actually see what's occurring. And we're going to go in here real quick, and I'm going to get you the link for Lauren Southern's YouTube channel. And again, she's a young activist, and she is uncovering what is happening. And this is the young lady that was jailed over in the UK just as she got off of an airplane. Absolutely sickening. I'll put this in the live chat for you guys. But I want to briefly let you guys listen to Lauren. I do follow her. I do watch all of her videos and her live streams. She's a very intelligent young lady with a lot of willpower. And it's good to see folks of the younger generation stepping up, standing up, speaking, and creating a voice. So let's listen to a little bit of her commentary pertaining to the arrest and conviction, all in a few hours, of Mr. Tommy Robinson, political prisoner of the UK deep state. Let's take a listen.
Hey guys, okay, so I'm just gonna give this stream a second for people to join it, but obviously based on the title, I'm pretty sure you know what's going on. But let me just share this, get a few people to join. Okay, so as many of you may have seen this morning, Tommy Robinson was arrested and then immediately after taken to court and sent to jail. And a lot of this information I received secondhand. Obviously, I'm banned from the UK because of its crazy authoritarian government, which has just been confirmed even further today. But a few people that were there gave me the details. I can't say who, because unfortunately there is also a reporting ban on this. If anyone talks about it, or even people retweet me, they could be arrested themselves if they talk about Tommy's situation and they were in the UK and certainly in that courtroom. But what happened essentially is Tommy went to go report on a rape gang case, and there was also a order of silence not to talk about it. Of course, I'm not a legal expert, so I'm just doing it in the most basic terms here. Tommy went there and he read out some reports that were already public, that were already in the paper, and then the police arrested him for disturbance of the peace. They took him to court, and then the judge sentenced him to jail for 13 months, over a year, because he talked about a rape gang case and gave information that was already publicly available. In fact, let's talk about this, because there are some people who are saying, this was legitimate. Here's, please be aware that there isn't a political conspiracy regarding Tommy's arrest. This is a tweet that I'm just reading from someone in the UK. He was imprisoned for contempt of court and for reporting on a case with reporting restrictions. Right, so within an hour, someone gets sent to jail for 13 months just because a case had reporting restrictions. And he also, what he was reading out about this case, it was already information from the Huddersfield Examiner, that was the biggest print newspaper in the area. It was already publicly available stuff, and no one at the Huddersfield Examiner was sent to prison for 13.
You know, folks, I want to stop Lauren right there real quick. I mean, she has super valid points. They set this man up. They set Tommy Robinson up by arresting him in the past and, you know, giving him this suspended sentence. They knew damn well that this man and his willpower, they knew that he wasn't going to just shut up and go away. So they waited and they waited and they waited for just this little tiny loophole. And who in the hell puts gag orders on vicious rape cases and vicious assault cases that have already been publicized in the media? You see, ladies and gentlemen, they set him up. They knew that he would be there. And, you know, to use this terminology loosely, they gave him enough rope to hang himself. And they were the judge, the jury, and the executioner. I mean, how could you be arrested, tried, convicted, and sent to prison in about an hour? In the UK, somewhat of a democracy / monarchy / reptilians. I mean, where is the monarchy of this country? Why are they not stepping up and speaking about what is happening in their so-called kingdom? God save the Queen. The Queen is doing nothing. The monarchy is doing nothing but having lavish weddings and flaunting their wealth. If I was the King of England, I would have gone down to that prison and demanded for this man to be released. I don't know if their monarchy has that type of political pull. Who knows? But for the monarchy of England to sit quietly and say nothing and allow the history, the deep history of their country, to watch it go down the drain means one thing to me. They're involved. They're behind it. They're running the show. I don't have any respect for that monarchy anymore. Ever since the death of Princess Diana, I knew deep down inside that these were very evil people. Very evil. We all see the memes that go around about Queen Elizabeth and, you know, Prince Charles and the rest of these reptilians. The UK is in a horrible state of affairs, and they are going to create a civil war within their country. The same is going to apply with the United States with the gun grabs, all of the school shootings and the mass shootings. See, that's the way that they're going to get to you here in the United States. They're already stripping you of your rights, your civil rights. You can't speak freely or defend yourself or you'll be arrested. Falsely arrested. Trumped up charges. I just did a story this morning and a video about a young lady on the beach celebrating the Memorial Day weekend, beaten and punched in the head by a New Jersey cop because she had a closed container can of beer sitting next to her. But just because she stood up for herself and knew her rights, she was beaten to a pulp on the beach in front of people, videotaped, hauled away, arrested, and charged with a whole bunch of charges to make sure she didn't get out of jail or the bond was highly excessive. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is happening in the United States, just in a different way. Sooner or later, you're going to wake up one day and you will have no rights. Zero. Let's listen to more of what Lauren has to say.
13 months for talking about this case. This is clearly a political intimidation tactic. People pretending it's not. People pretending individuals just normally get taken to court and sent to jail for 13 months within an hour. It's absolutely nonsensical. The British government want to crack down on any right-wing dissidents. And quite frankly, the scariest part of this, I had to calm down before doing this live stream because I actually started crying when I heard that Tommy was being sent to jail, because this is a death sentence. I don't think people realize. They know for a fact the British government that sent him to prison today, we're never going to hear from him for the next year because he's had everything taken away, cell phones, all of that, can't talk to us. They know for a fact he's most likely going to die in prison. And they don't care if he dies. They want to intimidate all British citizens into silence and into agreeing with the left-wing orthodoxy. I want to, of course, a lot of you know that a lot of the prison system in the UK, it is a high Muslim population in there, and they hate Tommy Robinson. More than hate, people want him dead. He gets death threats all the time. He got beat up in prison all the time when he was in there before. And I just want to, if you don't know about this case, when was this? This was maybe a couple of years ago, but there was a man who had thrown a bacon sandwich outside a mosque, and he was put in prison. And throughout his 12-month sentence, they found him dead. He had been murdered in prison because he had thrown bacon at a mosque. This isn't just a conspiracy. I'm not making something up when I say Tommy will likely die in jail because of this. In fact, it was something that, and this, I'm getting this secondhand once again from someone who was there, was acknowledged in the courtroom today. It was brought up that if Tommy gets sent to jail, they are going to kill him in there. And apparently, of course, I'm taking the secondhand. Unfortunately, there's no freedom of press on this issue. But secondhand, apparently, the judge said he knew what he was getting himself into and basically acknowledged that he's going to die. The UK, they know what they are doing. This is a complete and utter crackdown on any right-wing dissidents. And the people who are pretending that this is anything other than political intimidation, it's just insane. They have obviously been looking for ages for any sort of loophole, anything to get Tommy on. Even his original sentence was ridiculous financial stuff that most people would not get caught for. Half the damn governments in the West are taking part in tax evasion and going about things the wrong way, and they aren't getting arrested because they have the right opinions. That is overlooked because they have the right opinions. Look at someone like Hillary Clinton, who's running for the president of the United States, who no one cares about, and she gets away with all of her crimes because that are much bigger crimes than public disturbance like Tommy or reporting on something that we were supposed to be hush-hush about. She gets away with all of her stuff because she has the right opinions. Of course, these are different governments, but my point stands that they have obviously had it out for Tommy. The police are always following him. They're always watching him. They're detaining people like Brittany Pettibone or Martin Sellner who want to go and meet with him and talk with him. They're banning people from the country who are friends with.
You know, folks, Lauren has all valid points. I don't even want to get into the whole Hillary Clinton bullshit because that gets me pretty heated. very rarely do I come on to my YouTube channel and talk about politics because it does get me very, very heated. But she has valid points. You know, it's sure easy for these U.S. politicians to go out there and commit all of these crimes, and the pedophilia is being outed, the arms deals. Where is all of the trillions and trillions of dollars missing? Remember the congressional testimony of one Donald Rumsfeld stating to the congressional hearing members, "I'm sorry, but I don't have any idea where those trillions of dollars went to. They disappeared." But everybody doesn't, remember ex-president Barack Obama shipping cargo planes full of American money over to the Middle East. Yeah. Whose money was that? Well, I can attest that it was United States taxpayer money. The deep state, folks, it's taken over. You just don't really realize it, but it has truly taken over. Quietly, silently, they've been picking away. And if we don't start standing up for ourselves and standing up for what is right, then we too are going to fall prey to all of this that is spilling out into your life right now. You can go on and deny that this is happening. And if you want to live in denial, well, that's up to you. But sooner or later, it's going to be knocking on your front door, and you're not going to know what to do. There are so many issues within our world that have to be dealt with. But we have very serious oppositions that we don't have control over. Those oppositions have more power than we do. So when they want to shut you up, they'll just charge you with a crime, lock you up, throw away the key, and pretty much allow some other nutcase prisoner to murder you. And then they wipe their hands of it, and it's all over and done with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. If any harm comes to Tommy Robinson while he is incarcerated on these trumped-up charges brought forth by the so-called ununited kingdom, there will be hell to pay in that country. The strength of the British people will rise, and they are already being heard. Tens of thousands of them. I sat back yesterday. I watched a demonstration in Berlin, Germany, yesterday. Tens of thousands of people marching for their rights. I mean, it touched my heart to see this happening. So no matter what country you live in, no matter what your religious beliefs are, no matter what the color of your skin may be, sooner or later, this tyranny is going to knock on your door. That's one of my biggest fears. I'm supposed to be living in the land of the free. And as I speak to you today on Memorial Day here in the United States, where we celebrate the memory of all of the soldiers that have lost their lives in the wars that the United States government got them into. We're celebrating them today. But how do we celebrate our soldiers, our veterans? By forgetting about them, leaving them homeless, suffering from mental illness, suffering from physical ailments. My grandfather enlisted in the United States Army at the age of 17. On his 18th birthday, my grandfather was flying over to England to defend their country, to defend France. He fought nobly. He was awarded the Purple Heart, the Silver Star. He saved many lives. He took a bullet, half of his foot blown off. He stayed in the military. He fought in Korea, at which time, saving another soldier, he was shot again. He made it back to the United States. He spent 33 years and 2 wars for this country, the land of the free. In 2007, I fought the United States government Veterans Administration for back pay for my grandfather's pension and being a wounded veteran. They fought me and my grandmother for 2 years. 2 years they fought us to get the money that was due to my grandfather over all of those years of them robbing him. After obtaining a veteran's lawyer, going through the entire process, they wanted us to prove that my grandfather fought in these 2 wars and was injured. They wanted us to prove to them who he was. Luckily, my grandfather kept all of his paperwork. And over the course of 2 years, we fought the Veterans Administration and won. And, you know, they sent my grandfather a pretty healthy check. And also they increased his pension from a measly $800 a month to $2,500 a month. By then, ladies and gentlemen, my grandfather was 96 years old, suffering from Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, dementia. But I stood by my grandfather for those last years of his life, and I took care of my grandparents, both of them. I had both of them living with me, and I made sure that their life was comfortable. All of the money in the world doesn't bring them back. But our governments are doing the wrong thing. For the people, by the people. Whatever happened to that? Where did it go? There should be no person on the face of this earth that goes hungry every day. There should be no person on the face of this earth that is homeless or without medical attention. How can I say that? Ladies and gentlemen, look at the rich, look at the elite, look at the billionaires, look at the power and the wealth of the governments. And they turn on this man that goes by the name of Tommy Robinson, political prisoner, now a political prisoner of the deep state in the United Kingdom. Why? Because he was exposing the brutal, sadistic, disgusting crimes perpetrated by refugees and immigrants that were brought into their country for one reason and one reason only, and that was to create civil disturbances, and you're seeing it. I guess they didn't think that people like Tommy Robinson and many others would step up to the plate and speak their piece and gain a massive following. I support this man. I've been supporting him now for 2 years. I've been watching everything that he's done. He's not breaking any laws. He's doing the right thing. I'm very saddened by this. Very, very disturbed over the last 2 days, ladies and gentlemen. And, I understand a lot of you may think this is a little offbeat for this Planet X News channel. But you know what? I've been holding my tongue just a little too long. And I am going to continue to report on other subject matters other than what is lurking in our solar system. There are so many other factors out there that we have to be aware of, because I truly believe that this is one massive agenda, all combined. And it's been going on for a long period of time. The deep state in these countries sitting back, pulling the strings like we're nothing but puppets. They look down upon us. But we are the ones who pay their salaries. We are the ones that give them the life that they lead. If we continue in silence, we will be nothing but the doormat that they wipe their feet on. I'm not that person. I would hope and pray that each and every one of you listening to me today, you are not that person that will stand for anyone stepping on you like a piece of trash. I've gone ahead yesterday, folks. Like I said, myself and Dr. Elbers got together. We made a very healthy donation to the Tommy Robinson's Defense Fund. It has already been set up. I'm not sure if it's going to do any good, but both of us felt compelled to reach very deep in our pockets. And, well, we did what we did. Each and every one of you, look, I'm not going to create this big fundraiser live stream. But if you feel the need, then you can donate to Tommy's fund. As far as spreading awareness awareness. I've gone ahead and I've created through our Planet X News online store. I've already created a shirt that is in support of Tommy Robinson. And I've already ordered 2 of the shirts. I'm the first person. I created it and I ordered it, and I will wear my shirt frequently when I'm out in public. And I'm waiting for this to there we go. So this is the front side. Free Tommy Robinson, political prisoner of the United Kingdom. It has a front side logo. I created a back side logo also. As you can see here, set him free, Tommy Robinson, political prisoner of the United Kingdom. It is available in men's and women's apparel. It is also available in different colors. Few of them that I saw that, would stand out quite a bit. And again, front side logo, back side logo. The shirts are now available on the Planet X News online store. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description box. Well, I already put one in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the live chat. And also, folks, the Planet X News online store, we have our newest chemtrail advocate shirt to at least show support about bringing more awareness to what is happening in our skies. We see that on a daily basis. Yesterday I was out, photographing the chemtrailing, and just did a short video on the photographs that I took of the moon and this crazy halo. But this is our newest chemtrail shirt, and the chemtrail shirt, very nice design. It also has a front and back logo. $21.99. It is also available in a women's style and also multiple colors. As far as the Tommy Robinson shirts, any proceeds that come in from the Tommy Robinson shirt, I will be forwarding all of those proceeds directly to his defense fund. So if any of you feel like wearing that shirt and wearing it proudly, and folks, people ask, well, why are you selling shirts? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, what are you trying to make money? Well, look, folks, the amount of money is, it's not very much. But what it does do is it does spark that conversation when someone sees you wearing the shirt. Dr. Elbers and I just recently wore our other Chemtrails Kill shirt. Front and back logos. And just a simple trip through Walmart for 30 minutes. People were asking me about my shirt. It creates the conversation, and it draws attention to a subject matter. So I have already ordered my free Tommy Robinson support jersey. I will wear it proudly, and as long as he is locked up in the doldrums of this UK prison, I will wear this shirt every single minute of every single day I leave my home and I go out in public. That's how deep my support is going to go for this man. Dr. Elbers and I have made our donation to his defense fund. I will continue to publicize what has been illegally done to him. And God forbid that anything happens to this man while he is illegally imprisoned. It is a despicable thing that the UK government has done. Yes, they should be ashamed of themselves. Are they? No, they're not. They went home, they sipped their tea, and they felt no guilt, and they slept easy. While this man was robbed of his freedom and taken away from his family for exposing the travesties that government got its people into. And it warms my heart. It fills my heart with joy to see the British people stand up for Tommy Robinson. It is time that the American people stand up for Tommy Robinson. Get off your asses. You have a voice. Please let people hear it. Don't be ashamed of wearing a shirt. Don't be ashamed of letting other people know that you are not going to stand for this type of tyranny, for this type of censorship, for the illegal imprisonment of a man that is trying to do the right thing. Just like Dr. Elbers and I, we're trying to do the right thing by exposing what is happening within our inner solar system and what is happening to our planet. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I feel deeply about the subject matter. I believe it is all joined together under one huge agenda. We're dealing with very sick-minded people. We don't have any control over them, but they want control over us. We cannot allow that. We cannot. So, once again, folks, support this man. Follow his YouTube channel. The same thing with Lauren Southern. Follow his Facebook page. If you'd like to make a donation for his defense, you can do so. I don't know how good it's going to help because their agenda was to shut him up and I believe take him out. Stay tuned to what is happening in the UK and Germany, because both of these both of these countries are very, very close to civil war because of what is being done to them. And the same thing can happen here in the United States. At a drop of a hat. Share this video. Stay in tune with what is happening to Tommy Robinson and his political fight for his freedom from the tyranny of the United Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for standing behind me and Dr. Elbers. Now it is time to stand behind another man. And that man is Tommy Robinson. I'd like to say thank you for all of the men and women in service in the United States government and other militaries around the world that have given their life for freedom and justice. This will be one Memorial Day that I will never forget. Free Tommy Robinson. Free Tommy Robinson now. This is Scott from Planet X News. Happy Memorial Day. And thank you very much for listening.